I'd like to welcome everyone to the February 25th, 2020 Code Enforcement Nuisance Board meeting here at the Bowling Green City Hall Commission Chambers. My name's Randy Deere. So I would like to call to order, please.
Deere.
Yes.
Simpson.
Here.
Dearbone. Eggleton.
Here. Thomas.
With that being said, I'd like to go ahead and swear the staff and everyone in, please. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God? Thank you. Okay, in our packet this week, you had received the minutes from November 26th, 2019 and January the 28th, 2020 meeting. You've had an opportunity to look those over. Are there any corrections, additions, deletions, anything that we need to bring before the board?
I've had a move to approve.
Second.
Simpson. Thomas. Deere.
Yes.
Simpson.
Yes.
Eggleton.
Yes.
Thomas.
Yes.
Okay. On our hearing agenda and appeals, case number 1, citation 121673, 300 Alumni Drive, respondent Jacob Tucker, officer Andrew Ward. Officer Ward, or is this you? Okay, would you mind? Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Sir.
Okay. Would you mind explaining what you found with this ticket, please?
Yes, sir. On January 27th, about 9:30, myself and Cadet Brown found 2 cars on Alumni Street, parked opposite directions, one on each side of the street, in designated parking spots. We circle around once, talking about making sure that we would be able to write a ticket for it. We discussed it for a little while. The code states that you cannot park the opposite direction of traffic. So we decided to each write a citation for, he would write one car, I would write the other car.
And is this on Kentucky Street?
Citation?
Where is this location?
This location here?
Yes.
That's Alumni Avenue.
Okay. So which one is Mr. Tucker's car? Can you go back to the previous
These are just street view images.
We have no photos of the.
Okay. All right. Anything else?
No, sir.
Okay. Thank you. Mr. Tucker? You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you.
So basically, I came out and my car was parked the opposite direction of traffic. It was parked in an actual designated parking spot. So I thought that since people back into parking spots all the time, facing the incorrect direction in a parking spot isn't a big issue. So, I mean, I didn't actually know what the literature was. I didn't get like a copy of anything or anything like that. But I just wanted to come see if that was the thing that worked out. So.
Are you a student?
Excuse me?
Are you a student?
Yes, sir.
Question, where were you licensed to drive? Which state?
State of Kentucky.
In Kentucky. Do you recall anything on the materials they gave you to study about parking on the opposite side?
Honestly, no. I don't think get that much about parking in city streets and stuff like that. There was a bunch of ridiculous questions about horse-drawn carriages and different things like that, but there wasn't very much on city parking. But it's possible, I missed that, obviously. It's been a while.
You live there?
I live both here and in Spencer County, which is about 30 minutes southeast of Louisville.
You were visiting someone there, my question?
No, I live at that address.
Okay.
My apologies.
That was my question.
Could you back the slides up one, please?
This is just a Google Street View of the area, but this picture is about apparently 12 years old, so I don't know. That's why I
Okay.
went back to the other picture.
The address
So
is
the-
also incorrect on the ticket.
Okay, so the vehicle in the lower left-hand corner is not your vehicle?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
What have you learned by this?
I parked on the wrong side of the street.
Okay. All right.
I'll make a motion to uphold the fine, or the citation, but to dismiss the fine.
Second.
Thomas, Simpson, Deere,
Yes.
Simpson,
Yes.
Eggleton,
Yes.
Thomas.
Yes.
Tell
Way to
everybody
go.
else they
Thank
can't
you, guys.
park, tell everybody else they can't park like that.
Yes, sir. You have a good day.
You
Don't
too.
come back.
Okay, case number 2. Case 2019-855, citation 2019-16626.5, 1208 Beauty Avenue, owner David Earl Miller, respondent Joanna Ramsey. Is Miss Ramsey here? Case stands. Okay, case number 3, case 2019-3454, citation 2019-16854, respondent Tony Jones, Officer James Hetty. Is Mr. Jones here? Okay. All right. Mr. Hetty.
A few updates from the last meeting. I submitted some photos from today, and it looks like the RVs and the campers and some of the other equipment is still there on the site. That's from the top part of the lot. The first two were the top part, and then as you drop over the hill, that's the back part of the lot. As you can see, the RVs and the campers are still there at the location. I do have an update reference to the Bowling Green Police Department. They had a call on February the 6th, which our meeting was the 28th of January, but the 6th, there was a call, and you might have this in the packet, but I won't read everything unless you want me to. But it's reference to there was 2 individuals that stated they were living and paying rent in the RVs. And also there's, let's see, accusation of raw sewage on the ground. So there's a few things from that night, and I did secure the contact card from the police department, from the officer there. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Jones.
You doing?
Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, Mr. Jones, what do you have for us?
I'm doing what I can to get it fixed. Everything keeps changing. Like, forts, get these out of here. So I moved them all up to the top. Now he's got pictures of them at the top like they're a problem. So, I mean, I don't understand. What he told me, and feel free to jump in anytime if I'm wrong. Disconnect these, disconnect them all. Disconnect the power, disconnect the water. That was the original, what he originally told me to do. Is that not right?
No, I served 2 notices of violations, and which I read from verbatim from the notice of violation. It says, remove all travel trailers and RVs from the property, relocate them to a properly zoned location for the storage of RVs and travel trailers, or relocate them to a designated RV park, or apply for and seek approval of zone change to light industrial to allow outdoor storage of travel trailers and RVs as outlined in section 5.2.4G of the zoning ordinance. Section 5.2.4G states that any self-service storage facility with an outdoor storage component, boat, trailer, RV, etc., must be located in a light industrial or heavy industrial zone. That property is zoned general business, therefore can't reside in the RVs, and they can't be stored on the property unless he goes through a zone change. None of that has changed. It's been consistent every time it's in black and white on the notice of violation.
Is there a picture of looking to the right? I mean, I know he's got plenty of them going towards that hotel. Oh, right there. Is that a house clearly visible directly next door to the property? Is that a house? You don't remember seeing a house there? A big stone house?
Probably is, but I don't.
That is
I'm
connected.
usually focusing on your property when I'm driving through there.
I bet that's absolutely true.
Yes, sir.
There's a house, residence, right on that corner. That is not a business property. It has not been. That stuff has been there since 2002. I showed you the aerial photo from Google in 2002. This stuff has been there that long. Why all of a sudden is it this huge problem? There is no business there. It is not a highway business. I understand how it is zoned, but that is not what it is. It is a private property. It is my property. I do not do business there. There is no business there. There has not been a business there for multiple years. When they asked me to put up the fence because it was a hazard, for you can't have businessy stuff happening with a dangerous drop-off of a fence. At that time, it had been 10 years since there was a business there. But what did I do? Clearly, I put up the fence. When they said something about the power pole being too far away from the building, I paid to move the power pole. Everything they've asked me to do in regards to, keeping it safe for other people or whatever, I have done. The other pictures that I brought you last week show that you cannot even see that from the road. What happened with those 2 kids that he's referencing this police department, those kids were homeless in their van. I told them they could store things in the camper. I come back and found them living in the camper. I'm the one that called the police. So he's trying to make it sound like I've done this terrible thing by moving these kids in. It was 20 degrees. They were living in their van. They had nowhere to go. I told them they were welcome to store their stuff there. When the police came, they were afraid to tell the police that they lived in their van. They thought they would get arrested. I kept telling them, look, they're not going to arrest you for living in your van. And the guy actually did tell them the real story, but the girl was separated and couldn't hear what was going on. She kept insisting that they lived there. That motorhome that's sitting there has not moved from that spot since 2002 because it doesn't move. I've had 2 different tow companies come out to try to move it, which neither one of them can get it to lift up. They said they need a bigger truck, and the only one that has one is there was Walker's in one other place, and Walker's couldn't move it. And the other 2 times that they've come to get the blue trailer, the one that he's insistent that somebody lives in, that it's not possible for anyone to live in, the blue trailer has broken jacks in the front end of it. My truck is too tall to move it. I've tried. It hits the back of the truck. I've tried to get people down there 3 times now with lower trucks, but it's been raining pretty much constantly. Every time somebody comes, it's too wet to move it. I mean, I don't understand. That's about the same thing as saying you can't have a boat at your house or a camper at your house. on your property. You can't buy a property and put a boat or a camper on it. And the people are not living there. There's no, you can clearly see, I've had them pick up everything. There's no power cords out. There's no nothing out now. I've made them go through and pick up everything on that lot. And as a matter of fact, the young lady in the back there was part of that crew. I've been emptying out the buildings. I'm trying to get the rear storage buildings moved. The thing is, I don't want to be here either. I understand that. I guess the focus is for me to leave, which is fine, because I don't want to be here anyways. But I can't just be harassed the rest of the time that I'm here. I'm trying to get it all gone. You can see clearly there are 8 or 9 different things that are not there anymore, which I've sold. You're welcome to check my buy and sell Bowling Green. It's all listed there. Everything is listed on that site. I can't make them come pay me for them. I can't make them come get them. The blue one's sold. I'm just waiting for the guy to come get it. The one that he seems to be the most serious about. That blue one on the end right there. No, that one. Yeah, that one. It's sold. He's having a hard time coming to get it too, because the jacks don't move. You have to manually jack it up. Then you have to let pull the pins out. It's a little bit of a process, but it's already sold. The car there is I just park it there. But since my last meeting, since the last time I was here, my security light has been shot out 2 times. I've lost 11 batteries from miscellaneous vehicles on the property, 11 batteries. 1 trailer has been stolen. I've lost 2 generators, miscellaneous tools. I've had 3 water heaters freeze because they're not plugged in. I've had 4 trailer doors kicked in or locks destroyed where they're unlockable. I've had 2, never mind. I've had, my building door has been kicked in once. My snap-on tailgate has been broken and is now not repairable. And just miscellaneous problems ever since this went on last time, ever since I was here the last time. All of this has happened in the last 30 days.
Mr. Hetty, let me ask you, is this zoned business?
It is. It's zoned general business.
Okay. And after our last meeting...
I'm sorry, it's highway business.
Pardon me?
I'm sorry, it's highway business.
Okay, so what are the limitations, or what are the expectations of that zoning for that? Can you answer that? And if you can, I understand. I don't know either. I'm just trying to get a feel for this thing. Because the last time we met, we thought that this property was going to be sold, is going to be cleaned up.
Right, and I have been moving to sell the property. But in the current situation where I've got these coming up and I've got liens on it and I've got these buildings back here that I still need to get moved. It's just been too wet to move them, is what they've told me every time. He's like, we can't get down there in that grass and move those buildings like they are. We spent about 2.5 weeks cleaning the buildings out and just getting rid of stuff. And he says he was there today, so I'm sure he can see that that's what we've been doing. It's not like I just left here and it was like, oh, okay, well, I'll go back in a month. I have been trying. They can't move that one. I don't know what it is. I think he said that the transmission was locked up or the starter locked the I don't remember what it was.
Well, the issues also that we had prior to the last meeting was that we had health department officials and we had health concerns with this property. And so with that and the fact that we've got squatters or we have people that are homeless, I don't know that this property is going to get taken care of within how long have we been dealing with this, James?
November the 13th of 2018.
We've been dealing with it approximately 28 months.
Maybe 14 or so months.
2018.
Yes, sir.
Jones, how long have you owned that property?
Since 2000,
Do what?
since 2000.
Why did you buy it?
I really didn't buy it. A friend of mine had it and didn't want it and knew that I had a lot of stuff to store. And he was like, I got the perfect place. You pull it all down there, nobody'd ever see it. So I bought it by accident.
You may have to find a friend. What's a per day fine that we're looking at?
I've got a question. You mentioned you're being held up by the rain. I can understand that. Everything's soggy around here. Once it dries out, how long do you think you need to get this? So he says, I don't have any other questions.
What he's asking me is to move everything of mine off of the property. Is that what I'm hearing?
I don't think
that I need
that's
to
what
move
he
all
said.
of my property
Is
off
that-
of my property.
That's not what you said, was it?
It's not, but
Heard again.
when it comes to, on the NOV, I was just reading some of the outdoor storage, and it says outdoor storage shall be allowed in general business and highway business districts, but it's got stipulations about such storage shall not include junk, trash, garbage, or other general debris. Outdoor storage in general business and highway business districts shall not exceed 5% of the total site. And such storage shall only include supplies and equipment that are directly related to or that will serve the principal use of the property. So that's for general business and highway business. Storage of RVs and travel trailers are not supplies or equipment that are directly related to or that will serve the principal use of the property and therefore are not permitted outdoor storage in highway business zones. Therefore, Mr. Jones, if he wanted to keep them on there, would have to revert to the correction of rezoning the property to the light industrial, which would allow him for the outdoor storage if that's what he so chooses.
So are you going to sell this property? When?
As soon as I can.
I mean, do you have a buyer?
I've got 2 or 3 people that are looking at it.
You have a realtor? Why not?
You don't really need a realtor. I didn't
I'm
have a
sorry?
realtor when I sold my house.
Do what?
I didn't have a realtor when I sold my house.
Tell me about the per day fine that what's the dollars and all that type of stuff on a per day fine.
Last month, it was at $4,900, $4,800. So I think we're 28 more,
What now?
2,800
Did we?
more days.
That's a per day fine
2,800 more
last month?
dollars. No, it's been running a per day fine. That is what he has appealed as a per day fine citation. It's been running. He's almost at the
So if we assess another per day fine, what happens to the previous fine?
You have to make a motion and a vote on this current one before anything else can happen. And Mr. Hetty would have to, request for another per day fine citation approval before he could issue another one. It's just a process.
Well, I sure hate the thought of the per day fine, but in times past when this board's had to do that, it's the only way that we can get something done. So therefore, I'm ready to make a motion. I'll make a motion that we uphold the citation and a per day fine. Do we need to put a time frame on that?
Nope.
Per day fine of $100.
Second that motion.
Here,
Today is the day
Simpson.
that I can actually appeal this in court.
No,
after
sir.
this?
No, sir. When you get your finding of fact in the mail, you'll have 30 days from the date of that finding of fact to appeal to district court.
So, I mean, what's happened all along is I keep getting beat by some little trick, little flaw. You know, the 7-day thing. The first time he issued the citation, I wasn't even in the state. Was nowhere around. The whole process went past me before I got back. I came to say something about it, it's too late. Second time, same thing, got back on the last day, brought it to her. She said, oh, too late, last day, can't do it.
Let me ask you this. We've got a motion on the floor. We need to go ahead and address that. I made a motion, we've got a second?
Here,
Yes.
Simpson,
Yes.
Eccleton,
Yes.
Thomas.
I want to ask this, Mr. Jones, do you understand exactly what he wants, what we're asking for?
He wants me to take all of my stuff and just move it. Take it off of my property off of my property, and take it somewhere else.
The other option that he has given you is to go before planning and zoning and change the zoning requirement. You can do that.
Why? I don't understand. I mean, I understand if I had a McDonald's and these things were parked out back, I get it. If it was a business and I was in a highway business under highway business laws or articles or whatever, it's not. It's private property. There is no business there.
Did you not tell us one time that you were leaving country or something?
Yes, and I'm still trying to do that.
Oh, okay.
But now I've got a $100 a day fine I got to worry about dealing with.
That $100 a day fine has been running.
How? How has it been running? I appealed it. How has it been running when I came to appeal it?
Tabitha, did you not say that we had a per day fine running up to this point?
When he appealed it, he appealed that per day fine.
Okay,
Once
I'm
you
with
all once you all made the motion to uphold it and uphold the citation and the fine, that's exactly what it was. They upheld that. So that means that stands as written. So that per day fine stands as written. So that's what's happened. They've approved it.
Okay, so I appealed the per day fine, which started blah ago. And then we put this out 30 days, and I did all this stuff thinking that I was doing something to the good, which ended up not being to the good. So again, today we are upholding the original per day fine from 2 months ago, so $6,000 ago?
From December 10th.
So it did nothing for me to appeal it then, because all I did was put myself $3,000 more in debt waiting for the appeal, basically.
It runs for 60 days regardless. It's not going to keep going. It will stop at 60 days. And then if Mr. Hetty comes back in front of the board and requests for another per day fine citation, then he would move forward with issuing a new one, but you can appeal the finding of fact to district court if you choose.
I mean, I choose. I want a judge to tell me that I can't keep my things on my property.
Thank you, sir. Let's see.
Did we vote on the motion?
Yes, we did.
Yeah, we did, all of us.
Okay. At this point in time, do we have any new business?
Mr. Chairman, pending business, I would request that.
Yes, sir.
Who do I turn the bill in for all of this?
Back up to the.
Who do I send the bill to for everything that has been destroyed since I attempted to comply?
I'm not sure we understand your question.
Okay, well, since I've unplugged everything and nothing can report its condition through any of my iSecurity stuff or any of that, since I've unplugged everything, my water heaters have been destroyed, my batteries are stolen, who do I give this bill to?
Oh, that's your expense, and
It's my expense.
Yes.
But not caused by me, but my expense,
it's caused by your use of the property, yes, sir.
but it's not.
See, you've chosen to live in a county that has countywide planning and zoning,
Huh?
and you're not in compliance with planning and zoning rules and regulations. That's what it is. It's not a property right, because you have property rights. Your property rights are subject, however, to planning and zoning rules and regulations that have been adopted by this city and county.
Okay, and I get it, but when all this was plugged in, I didn't have any of these problems.
Also in violation, sir.
So I can't protect my property.
That-
I moved it,
You can protect your property within the limits of the law. yes,
had
sir.
all of this stuff sitting on top of the lot until they came by and asked me to move it. And the man said, why don't you take it down there? Nobody's going down there out of the way. Nobody's going to bother it. Nobody's going to see it.
I have no idea what you're talking about there, sir.
I'm talking about the guy that came before him that told me to move all of the stuff when I had all the trailers on top of the lot, that told me to move them to the bottom of the lot.
Well, I can tell you since that time, you've been notified that you shouldn't have the trailers where they are, period.
Good.
Okay,
And, Mr. Chairman, we have two matters of pending litigation that I need to go into closed session about, but I'm getting ready to do that. I'm with you. But I do think we have a gentleman here that wants to speak in the comment section.
Okay.
Let's let him do that, and then I'd need a motion to go into closed session to discuss pending litigation. Excuse me, Mr.
right.
Chairman.
Who would like to speak?
We've got an ongoing problem. The 1208 Beauty Avenue.
Who are you first?
Tim Grable on Shelby Recycling. If you can pull those pictures back up, the fence that surrounds it is my property. And it's been going on for years. I was just curious. I mean, does it keep going on because they do not show up? Or what's the stopping point? That's my question. At what point does it stop?
Did you say this is next to your property?
Yes, if you see the red fence, I join two sides of that property. I'm also, might say, across the street. All right, like that pile there. That's the third time it's got wasted taxpayers' dollars. They had to come and clean up trash they haul in. Oh, sorry about that. Usually I say too loud. Twice they've stacked it across the street on BGMU's property, which is behind my property. When they do this, you have the homeless shopping carts come through. They dig through it, then it just keeps getting bigger and bigger. It takes up more area. Just at what point? You know, the code enforcement cars every day have to come by. They'll clean up what they're cited for. The next night, next weekend, the yard will be cleaned that night. When we go home, the next morning, the yard's full. Fire department numerous times, and every time they start a fire, they're burning insulation off of copper wire. The way the wind comes, it comes through our building. So we've had to call the fire department several times, and you know, nothing ever happens. So I was just curious for myself, at what point do things change?
I would wonder the same thing.
Well, I mean, it's a never-ending battle. You know, the other day I called Mo that they were burning. I'm tired of calling. It's a waste of time. I think she had called the fire department. They come in. We can watch on our cameras. Girls in the backyard burning their copper wire right to the back of the house. As soon as they hear sirens or see the light, she throws water on it, runs in the house. No contact. They won't come out of the house. And I told her today, it's pretty sad. They're about like rats. During the day, you don't see nobody. When the sun goes down, you see flashlights all over the backyard running everywhere.
Who owns this?
It is owned by Joanna Ramsey, and she lives in Edmonson County. It is a daughter. Her daughter lives at the property.
What are they doing with all of this stuff?
Pretty much junking, and you know the term junking. So they're junking, and
They're,
like he
they're
says,
dumpster diving at night
they're
for scrap metal.
I've got on
For
her.
money.
She really most often won't talk to me. She'll just make me leave messages and leave messages. For whatever reason, she answered the phone today. And I, once again notified her that the fire department has notified me after 3 runs in 1 calendar year, they're going to start charging her for having to run out there. And she's had 3 runs already this year, so this calendar year. So she's been warned that she's going to be charged by the fire department.
What's that amount to?
I honestly don't know what their fine is for that and how they determine that. Today, can you show the condition today?
I may be out in left field, but that's why we're here.
Right.
Can I step up here, please? We'll show you a video of something on my video cameras.
Do you want to see it?
I'll come up with you.
Sunday night, I backed my video up.
And this is in front of that home?
This is behind that home.
Okay.
That's Sunday night, 8:30. You can see flashlights moving around the backyard. This is common, everyday occurrence. This is 3 or 4 times a week. I've talked to city police about it. It's a matter of time before it gets out, and we store trailers, cars, equipment on the other side of that fence. If you're familiar with the saying, can't get blood out of a turnip, they're not going to pay for damage to my property.
What are they doing with the flashlights? They just doing stuff?
They roam around. I told you, like rats.
This is the condition today. So there's the shopping cart with the tires in it. I don't even know what all that. It's apparently metal that they've got. They've got appliances out there. So they had it absolutely immaculate in time for me to close the case. But then today it's like this. So it is an ongoing. Like I said, I verbally spoke with her today.
I don't know either. That's not right.
This was case number 2 that
Yes,
was
that didn't get
appealed.
spoken. Yeah.
The whole situation, parents passed away. It was a group of the kids owned the house. They sent it over to Joanna Ramsey. Her daughter lives there. So there's really nobody to be held accountable. I've tried to buy the property. I'd love to tear the house down and clean it up to stop it. But now that you've got the homeless coming in, last summer we had tents set up in the backyard. They're robbing everybody to death up and down the street. So, I mean, it's a problem. It's a problem.
Okay.
I appreciate your time. Hope y'all
Can
can
we
do something
write a
with it.
citation on what we see here in this picture?
Sure. Mm-hmm. This case was closed because they came into compliance. But she's already been told, like I said, I finally got hold of her today. She's already been told that I'll be coming tomorrow morning, taking the pictures, starting the case. 10 days hence, there will be a citation if it's not cleared up. She does a lot of this. She's got a refrigerator back there. Well, that goes away, but then she brings in a stove. And I told her that's not an appliance in the yard is an appliance in the yard. I don't care if you're mixing up which ones it is. So she has today been saying that she's going to get everything cleaned up and it's going to stay that way. But
it sounds to me, based on what we're hearing, that it's not going to happen.
This has had
And-
8 cases in the last, 8 code cases last year alone, just last year, 8 code cases.
This is the last 4 code officers I've dealt with on this property. I mean, so it's not fixing itself.
Is it just a lot, several lots, acreage, or what?
It's about a quarter of an acre with a house on it that should have been tore down a long time ago because it was condemned. They were living in it last winter with no heat, no electricity, with kids. And when they had took the screws out of my fence and were going in every night and still inside my lot, and I called them one night. And the next day, the police department and child services took her kids. She had 2 infant kids in the house using kerosene heaters. They had it set up on the kitchen table. The house had been on fire before, and they never had fixed it. Somehow it slid through the cracks. So it was condemned. They got it back up. The rest of the family paid to fix the house. And this is what happened. It goes right back to like it was.
How long's this been going on? Do you know of?
Been there 10 years and hadn't changed. A little over 10 years. So, I mean, I've tried to get city police to drive by at night. You know, they'll wait till it's dark. We've called fire departments many times. They got to where they quit burning during the day. They would do it at night or 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. You could drive up the street when we come to work in the morning about 6:30, and you could smell the burnt insulation off a wire. So, I mean, I don't know. It just beat your head against the wall and hope for the best.
I don't know that at this point that we, I don't have an answer to this issue, but I can say that now that it's been made
Well, I mean,
aware
I know
to us that there has to be something in place to address this issue.
Well, each one of y'all need to take time and just drive by. Just drive by, and you might not see that mess today, but you drive by tomorrow, you will.
So let us, at this point in time, what I'm going to say is that let our officers do their job. There's a protocol in place, and let us get this started, and we'll see what we can do.
Okay, we're on 4th officer.
I understand.
I know.
I understand
But
completely.
anyway, I never have came up here, but I'd like to see it cleaned up.
Yeah.
You know, it's
I think all of us appreciate you coming
because
forth
the
and sharing
street
that
in
with
front
us.
of that house is part of our green space walkway. That's it right in front of the house.
Yeah.
So, and the people that do walk and ride bikes, they finally did get rid of their dog and chase them down the street when they come through. So it's getting better a little at a time. So, but anyway, y'all have a good night.
Thank you very much
Thank
for
you
your
very
time.
much.
See you tomorrow, Mo.
There you go. I'll see you.
I know you'll be back in the room.
So excited, aren't you?
Thank you.
Okay. Any more comments or announcements from the board, staff? Do we need to go ahead and close out this meeting and then
Make a motion to go.
just make a motion to go in closed session? I'll make that motion.
Second.
Deere, Eggleton. Deere,
Yes.
Simpson.
Yes.
Eggleton.
Yes.
Thomas.
Yes.
Thanks, ma'am.
Thank you, thank you.
Our planning and zoning folks are going to stay in because this is